Hi, and welcome back to the Brain Evolved channel. Did you know that African Americans are twice as likely to develop dementia as white Americans? This is a really concerning discrepancy and should be a wake-up call. And the worst part of it is that we don't really know why this discrepancy exists. However, we do know that diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's are not random. They have distinct causes that we can do things to try to mitigate. So we really need to look deeper into why this is affecting our African American communities so much more. And more importantly, what can we do about it? So stick around because this information could be just what you need. So let's get straight to it. Why is dementia impacting African American communities so hard? There are really 4 major reasons that researchers have discovered. 1, these communities tend to have higher rates of chronic health conditions. These include things like high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. And although it might seem like these conditions only affect your body, they don't. They really affect your mind as well. These conditions can impact the vessels in your brain, making it harder for your brain to function and thus increasing your dementia risk. 2, limited access to healthcare and diagnosis delay. African Americans are more likely to be diagnosed in the later stages of dementia when less can really be done about it. So why is this? Well, first of all, there's just less access to the kinds of specialists that would diagnose dementia. Also, they tend to be getting fewer routine screenings and just general distrust in the healthcare system. But it's really important that this is prioritized because early detection is key. Because earlier diagnosis means a better prognosis. 3, higher levels of chronic stress in the impact of racism on the brain. I'm sure you've heard of post-traumatic stress disorder, but have you heard of chronic race-related stress? People are subjected to constant racism. This can really increase their stress levels, and it makes a lot of sense that it would. And studies show that exposure to long-term stress shrinks the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is the part of your brain that's responsible for memory, and it is severely damaged in Alzheimer's. 4, genetic and social factors. While genetics play a role, they really don't tell the whole story, especially when we are looking at the late onset Alzheimer's, so being diagnosed at age 65 or later, which is by far the most common form of Alzheimer's. But when you contrast that with early onset or familial Alzheimer's, there's a much more prevalent genetic link for that condition, and so they're just very different beasts. But here we're talking about the late onset, the more common form. So that means we do have an opportunity to take advantage of lifestyle interventions to help improve our risk factors. However, this can be much more difficult for African Americans as they have lower economic opportunities and they encounter more systemic barriers. So now that we've discussed kind of the causes of this discrepancy, let's talk now about what we can do to kind of mitigate that. So we are going to make it easy and we are going to give you 5 straightforward tips to help lower your risk of Alzheimer's. 1, manage your blood pressure and your blood sugar. While conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure are prevalent in African American communities, we can take steps to better our situation. So we need to be making sure that we're getting regular checkups, and if we have diabetes or high blood pressure, make sure that you're managing it effectively and aggressively. 2, try to incorporate a brain healthy diet. So specifically, this typically refers to something that we call the Mediterranean diet or the MIND diet. And the MIND diet is just a version of the Mediterranean diet that's combined with a diet for hypertension to really focus on improving brain health. So here you want to focus on eating more leafy greens, berries, nuts, those kinds of things. And here you want to eat less fried food, processed food, red meats, and dairy. 3, exercise more. Exercise isn't just about losing weight. It's about improving your brain health. And we talk about this connection a lot because there is so much evidence supporting the link between physical activity and improved brain health. So make sure you're getting out there every day, even if it's for doing something as simple as just taking a walk around the block. 4, stay socially and mentally active. Loneliness and isolation can increase your dementia risk. So keep your mind sharp by engaging in conversations and just really making sure that you stay connected. 5, get regular screenings. Early detection equals better outcomes, so really try to keep this in mind. So if you're over 45 and you have risk factors, now would be a good time to start talking to your doctor about regular screenings. And these screenings don't have to be intense. They can be done at your primary care physician's office, and they only take about 5 minutes. Another thing that we need to do is work on breaking the stigma of aging and brain health. For some reason, we just don't talk about it enough, especially in African American communities. Too many people think memory loss is just a normal part of aging, and it is not. And this allows people to ignore the warning signs until it's too late. And that's why even if you're not an older adult yourself, you can really play a huge role. Do what you can to share this kind of information with your loved ones in your community, because the more we know, the more we can fight back. So if anyone watching this is wondering whether the issues they're experiencing are signs of just normal healthy aging or potential signs of dementia, I would recommend going over to the Alzheimer's Association's website and checking out their section on Know the 10 Signs. This will help give you a little bit of additional information on what to be on the lookout for. I would also highly encourage you to bring this up with your primary care physician. What I really want everyone to take away from this video is that we can do things to lower our risk of developing dementia. And I hope that this video provided you with some really great action steps that you can take to help yourself or your loved ones. If you liked this video and want to stay up to date with all the great brain health information that we publish, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you know anyone else that could benefit from this information, and we really hope you do, please be sure to share it, because knowledge is power. Together we can fight for brain health and we can really change our future. Thanks for being here today, and I'll see you in the next video.